It's unbelievable because I think it's so much that pre-pitch routine and being able to, I don't know what the right word is, but it's almost like just being able to have a short memory, right?
Yeah.
If anyone watched Ted Lasso, right, he told his players to be like a goldfish, right? Like, and just because they have a 10-second memory. In your opinion, I'm going to kind of like take it out a little bit and 10,000 foot view in your opinion a little bit. I
Mhm.
think baseball is so fascinating because so much of it is like internal battle. What about baseball though is like, do you think makes it such a mental battle day in and day out for guys? Is it just the fact that it's so dang hard and a 300 batting average is successful, even though that means you're failing, 7 out of 10 times? What about it do you think makes baseball such a mental internal grind for guys?
I think we've touched on them. And if you add them up, right, you've got statistics, right? You're measured, your numbers are measured, and now at a much more scrutinized at a much higher level. Not just your outputs, but your spin rate and your exit velocity, and all those things are factored into your value as a player. Which your identity is the next one, right? If baseball is my identity and I'm not getting the results that I want, and I look at this and go, someone's saying, well, I'm not good enough because my ERA is 5 or my spin rate's too low or my exit velocity is too low. I think I'm a bad person, right? There's that. Then there's the time, right? There's the time element. I've got all this time to think, right? And if I don't know where to put my attention at the right time, it can just send me into a total spiral, right? And so there's all these things that you put them together. And then you've got the external stuff, right? Listen, sometimes there's the coach athlete relationship. We talked a little bit about this before we recorded. And I tell kids this all the time, right? It goes a two-way street, right? Kids are complaining about, I don't know where I'm at, or I don't know what the coach thinks of me, or I'm not playing. But then there's this other way of like, if you don't know, you can go ask your coach, right? There's that uncertainty in that relationship about what my role is and where I stand. That drives kids crazy. There's all this stuff, right? So like you got the game specific stuff, and then you just got the normal mental human condition stuff of like uncertainty and anxiety. You put that all together, and then everybody's watching you, right? If you're a hitter, like, yeah, there's 9 guys in the field, but you're the only one in the box, and you're the pitcher. Yeah, there's 8 guys behind you, but you're the only one doing it. Like there's also a lot of scrutiny in that way, right? Like, so it takes a real special animal to be able to be like, hey, I'm going to go play this game and I'm going to compete right now, no matter what. I don't care. Like having fun, Dan, Trevor, like to me, like, yeah, you know what? Maybe it's hokey and maybe whatever, but I'm telling you, like, go enjoy this because you know what? One day it's going to be over. Like, I'm thinking to myself, like, shit, like, I would love to be out there with that uniform on in front of all those people playing the greatest freaking game in the entire world, and you're looking at that as a referendum on your value as a human being. Nah, man, like go play. Like enjoy it. Because if you enjoy it and you smile and you have fun, the best performances come out from there too. And I think that's a really hard thing because like it's just a lot of it's conditioning because over time we're just conditioned to believe that we have to play well to be happy, right? We almost feel guilty that, if we're enjoying ourselves when we're not playing well, there's something wrong. We can't feel good. We can't be a leader, right? Leadership. We can talk about that. Guys shut down when they're not playing well. They don't lead their teammates, even though they're really a leader. Well, can I be a leader no matter what? That's in my control, right? Like that's a role model. Well, we got to work on that too, right? That comes up a lot for me as well. Sorry, I went on a tangent.
It's
No,
awesome.
I kind of want to I almost sat there and let it simmer for a little bit and told people to rewind for 30 seconds because that ending right there was so good and so impactful. The thing that you hit a couple chords for me as things that really and part of the reason that I think of these things is because it's stuff I struggled with. The time.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I always used to tell people this. It's actually kind of sad when you actually think about it. I didn't really enjoy playing baseball. Right. I was good at it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I tell everybody. Right. Like good enough to play Division III college baseball. That's why I played. But the reason I didn't enjoy playing baseball was because of that time element. I would sit in center field and be like, man, I stink. I can't hit. What am I doing wrong? What's wrong with my swing? I played hockey growing up. Never had a moment to think. That game's so fast paced. It's such a beautiful sport. Boom, boom, boom. Puck's on your stick. Okay, pick your head up. Where's it going? Boom, boom. You're off the ice. You're exhausted, right? And I always use that example because hockey was like my enjoyment in sport, but baseball wasn't because I couldn't handle the time. How do you coach guys through that? Because it's something that even still to this day I struggle with. Of like, because it is human nature, as you've mentioned a couple times, to be like, you're 0 for 3. even if you don't pay attention to stats, that's in your head. You're not an idiot. You know you just struck out your last 3 at bats, and you have time in center field or left field or whatever, especially as an outfielder position that's not mentally in the game every moment, where you just sit there and spewing, just stewing. You're just like, oh, okay, what's this game? What do I have to do next? How do I fix it? Right? How do you coach guys through that?
It's hard. And I had the same experience as a baseball player. You're out there practicing your swing in the field when you're supposed to be fielding the ball, right? Like, oh, what did I do? Oh, yeah. Like, and then next thing you know, the ball's hit your way and you boot it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to coach that, Trevor. Like, so like one of the things that I think is a really good tool for that is practicing meditation, right? Because the point of meditation is just what you described. My mind wanders and I catch it wandering and I bring it back to the present moment, right? I'm in center field. I'm thinking about my last at bat. I can't believe I'm over 3. Hey, I'm not supposed to be thinking about that. Let's come back and take a deep breath and find the game, right? Like for me, like when I played, and I don't know if we talked about this last time, but I played as an adult. Again, I picked the game up at 25 and I played till I was 40. So I really learned what it meant to fail because I sucked. I had to learn to play again, but I loved it so much. It almost didn't matter at a certain point. Like I was like, I just want to get on a plane and go to Florida and play in a tournament with my buddies. And if I go for 4 and we lose by 80, which I think actually happened, at times, it didn't matter. Right. But I learned that I was wandering all over the place. And I was like, I got to find this game. The game is in the pitcher's hand. When my mind would wander, I'd go find the ball, right? Game's here. I can't be here. So practicing that away from the field. And then in the game, it's like, hey, when you're wandering, bring it back to something. Have a focal point, have an anchor. You cannot be thinking about that because they do get it when you say just what you said. Oh, I was thinking about my last at bat. Next thing you know, ball it's hit my way and I make another error. And now I got 2 errors under my belt, 2 mistakes under my belt that now become 3 mistakes and 4 mistakes and put more pressure. So they get that. Getting them to do the work to do that is a little bit harder, but that's why they want a mental performance coach. They need a big part of this process for me is also accountability, right? Holding them accountable in a very, I don't say healthy way. That's not fair, but like just in a way where it's non-judgmental. Like, hey, I'm here to support you. If you don't want to do it, it's not my job to tell you what to do, right? Your coach is going to do that. Your mom and dad are going to do that. I don't want to be that guy, but you also need to know that you have these tools available to you. And if you choose not to avail yourself of them, the only person that you have to blame is you. And I want to touch on what you said about hockey, right? Because that's a really interesting point. I've had a lot of baseball players who also play hockey, and it was the same exact thing, right? Hockey's fun. I'm with my boys. We're skating. We're hitting. This is great. But then I have hockey players who the game moves fast, and just because the game moves fast doesn't mean they don't think. They have a bad shift. They go back to the bench like, oh, that was a terrible shift. Stop moving my skates. Oh, whatever. And now, so it's the identity piece of it that really matters. Like hockey wasn't your identity. Baseball was, right? When a sport is your identity, no matter what you do, it's really hard to enjoy it because it's like, well, this is who I am. And if I can't be good at it, what the hell's the point?
I love this because in the last couple answers, not only have you touched on identity, but you keep touching on something that really strikes with me is they don't have, they don't love it anymore, or they loved it when they were little, right? And I think that's like, you don't end up playing college baseball if you didn't start out playing t-ball, little league, and it was all you could think about, right? You were obsessed with it, and that's why you were able to progress to that point. But somewhere along the lines, I don't know if it's pressure, if it's because the stakes get raised as you move up in levels because it gets harder because everyone's good. But like, how do you get guys back to that mindset of, man, why did you start playing this game? Where did that love go? Because I think for so many guys, if they went out there every day, like they probably did when they were 8, 9 years old in the summer with their friends from their local town, they would enjoy it a lot more. And they would probably have a little bit more success because when you were 8 years old, yes, you might've been reacting, like you said, to the positive feedback of the parents and everything, but you didn't know your batting average at 8 years old, or maybe there's a kid out there who does, but most 8-year-olds don't.
Yeah. Well, I think it's exactly the way you started, which is I think you got to ask them those questions. You got to raise that awareness of like when you were having fun playing this game, whether it was 8 or 12 or 15 or whatever, when you were having fun playing this game, what did it look like? Right? How did it affect your performance? Because, that is something that I think is really important. Being able to connect the behavior to the outcome is something that will motivate a kid, right? So like if I can get a kid to say, yeah, you know what, I was having fun in high school because I was playing with my boys. And when I was having fun playing with my boys, I just went out and raked. Well, now all of a sudden it's like, okay, how do we go back to just having fun with our boys, right? What are the actions we could take now to recreate that environment, right? Because really at the end of the day, it all just comes down to choosing your attitude, right? Like, let's be really trite about it. If you choose your attitude, like, hey, like I can go out and have fun today no matter what. Like, and when I'm having fun, I'm playing good. Let's just go do it. Right? Like, I don't care. It's like, the old like Manny Ramirez joke, right? Like, the guys who don't think, they just go out and play. Like, they're the ones that hit the best. Like, we can try to do that. It might be hard, but if you commit to just being like, hey, I'm going to go have fun, put a smile on my face, put some bubble gum in and just go out there and just smile for 3 hours, see what happens. Like, that could be the difference between, being gloom and doom, locked up, swing breaking down, mechanics breaking down, and hey, I killed it today just because I decided to go out there and have a good attitude and have fun with it. Not easy because listen, it is a job, right? Some of you guys work in the college space. It's a job now. These guys are getting paid to do a job, and that it's not just the NIL, whatever. It's just the culture has changed, right? The transactional nature of college baseball is guys are getting cut. The rosters are getting cut down. People are transferring all the time. It's a transactional business. So now you got kids who want to have fun, but the environment's really difficult. So that's kind of my job, is to help them understand, like, hey, this is the environment. Your coach has a job to do. Your coach has a lot of responsibility. They have a lot of pressure. They've got a family to feed. Like, this is not, you know what I'm saying? Like, but that's not your problem. You understand it. You make sense of it. But then you go like, hey, I got to have fun to play well. It's pressure, whatever. But if I can just have fun, I can play well. If I can relax, if I can let my body just calm down, the heart rate go down, my muscles relax, send a signal back to my brain, everything's going to be all right. I'm not going to die if I strike out here. Like, just that little bit of messaging allows you to go out there and play the game that you've taken hundreds of thousands of swings, hundreds of thousands of pitches. You know how to play this game. You're good at this game. You would not be at the level you're at. Even high school kids. How many kids started playing 5 years old? They never play baseball again. If you're starting on a varsity team in high school, you're pretty good, right? You're good. You belong. You just got to remember how you did that the first time. And that's not easy because we only remember what's happening right now.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned choosing your attitude, and I really do like that. And I think it's important to get guys to understand because, and you mentioned this in passing a little bit, guys think they're only valuable or the sport can only be enjoyable if they're good, right?
Yeah.
I'm only allowed to have fun if I go 3 for 4. I'm only allowed to have fun if I'm the superstar.
Mm-hmm.
But at least from my experience, the most fun I ever had as I wrapped up my baseball career was as a bench piece. Like, just embracing that and just enjoying it and just being okay with, like, you might, like, and it's a weird way to say this to guys, but it's like, you might not be good enough to be all conference. And that's okay. Like, have fun in the situation and the role that you're in and find value in that. How do you go about that conversation?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think it's so the first, and I agree with you, right? Like, hey, I got to accept my situation for what it is, right? Something I would tell a kid is just because you're not playing or just because the school's not recruiting you doesn't mean you're not good enough. It just means it's one person's opinion. Now, it's an important opinion, don't get me wrong, but it's just one opinion, right? So then you got to decide, why am I there, right? I'm not playing because coach thinks someone's better or more trustworthy or whatever. Do I really want to be here? You always have the choice to walk away too, right? Like, you could quit, which nobody wants to quit, but some people do. They just like, I don't want to do it anymore, or they transfer, whatever. You got to accept your role, right? This is better than not being here. Putting on a uniform and putting on a pair of spikes and putting on a hat and putting on a pair of sunglasses and hanging out with your boys in the dugout and saying a bunch of stuff you can't say anywhere else. Like, right. You got to accept that that's cool, right? Like, that is cool. To me, it's cool. Right. So then, like, getting them to buy into that and just being the best version of themselves. That's the other thing I do is like, you don't know, just because you're not playing today doesn't mean you're not going to be playing tomorrow. You need to be ready for that. Right. And a lot of kids don't want to get ready when they're not playing because they're not motivated to do the work today. So how do we make ourselves the best version of us? Right. And how do I go out and become the best version of myself? That applies in any area of life. I'm a student. All my grades are down. Like, oh, I'm not going to get, no, go get better today. Right. And so I think there's a lot of ways to slice that, Trevor, in the sense that every kid is different. That's, I think, part of the nuance of the work that I do. But like, yes, ultimately they've got to accept where they're at and then go, what do I want to do next? Do I want to quit? Do I want to get better? Do I want to be okay with where I'm at and not do anything more or less? All that's fine, but they have to accept it. If they don't accept it, then that's where the angst comes from. Like, oh, I don't belong here. I should be playing, or I'm terrible. I shouldn't be here. Now there's all this anxiety that comes with where they should or shouldn't be versus, hey, I'm here. Let's make the most of it. That's a really hard thing to do and help someone learn how to do. It takes a lot of time to unwind some of those patterns of thinking. In that case, in your example, you made that choice for yourself and you're like, hey, I'm good. Like, only that person can make that choice for themselves.